Benjamin David Benny Goodman was born in 1909 in Chicago, Illinois. One of 11 children of Polish and Russian immigrants, Goodman grew up in poverty for much of his life. He described this as the hardest thing he went through. Once, in an interview, he said, "Playing music was a great escape for me from the poverty. I wanted to do something with myself, and the music was a great form for me. I was absolutely fascinated by it. So I set out at an early age to do what I could, and devote my efforts to it, and enjoy it." Music gave him a way out of his impoverished childhood. At the age of 10, Benny Goodman went to study clarinet at Kalila Jacob Synagogue under Frank Shep, a member of the Chicago Symphony. By the age of 13, Goodman was a prominent clarinetist, often playing at clubs and dance halls weekly. Benny Goodman joined the American Federation of Musicians at age 14, abandoning his education to pursue his music. At age 16, he went to Los Angeles to join Ben Pollack and his band, staying with the band for 2 years and eventually becoming one of the band's lead soloists. Upon releasing his first album, A Jazz Holiday, in 1928, Goodman moved to New York hoping to find more success. He went on to have much success in his solo career, but became a band leader in 1934, creating the Benny Goodman Orchestra. His band included names such as trumpeters Ziggy Elman and Harry James, pianists Jess Stacy and Teddy Wilson, and drummer Gene Krupa. His band became regulars on an NBC radio show, Let's Dance. The band grew to massive success, releasing 15 top 10 hits in 1936, including Goody Goody and You Turned the Tables on Me. Benny Goodman was, and arguably still is, the greatest jazz clarinetist of all time. His soloing ability and sound quality was unmatched by any other big band player. He is without a doubt the best clarinet improviser of the swing era, drawing much of his clarinet knowledge from New Orleans second-line players like Jimmy Noon, Albert Nicholas, and Leon. The poster boy for the swing era, Goodman revolutionized the role of jazz in swing music. In many ways, he changed the usage of the clarinet in jazz band, creating many songs with lead and solo clarinet parts, which was uncommon before his time. This helped other clarinetists become more popular through their roles as solo players, such as Artie Shaw, Jimmy Dorsey, and Woody Herman. The Benny Goodman Orchestra was among the first jazz bands to perform in Carnegie Hall in 1938. That first concert at Carnegie Hall was historic. At the time, all concert venues were segregated. Goodman showed up with more than half a dozen black players that night, including Count Basie and Lester Young. Possibly his most famous release, Sing Sing Sing, was also released that year. Sing Sing Sing, one of the most notable Benny Goodman songs, was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 1982. This song inspired many other versions and arrangements, one of the more famous being Gordon Goodwin's Big Fat Band, in his arrangement, Sing Sang Song. Goodman's band remained popular and notable through much of the time it was around. He also employed Mary Lou Williams, a female pianist and songwriter, in writing the chart Roll-'em, which his band went on to play. His band quickly rose to become the most popular white dance band of the swing era for nearly 10 years. Over his career, he and his band made almost 500 commercial recordings, selling nearly 100 million records. His wild popularity only grew through the swing era, crowds flocking to see his band whenever he toured. By 1937, his band was massively popular, which earned him the title of King of Swing. His band not only played for live audience, but grew so popular that his music was featured in numerous movies. At the time of Benny Goodman's rise to mass popularity, American society was at the beginning of the Civil Rights era, as well as the tail end of the first wave of feminism. Goodman's employment of many black musicians and female musicians showed how he tried to help relieve racial tensions in the entertainment field. His choice of hiring Mary Lou Williams as a writer for his band was unprecedented at the time, as she was one of the first women composers and pianists in jazz music. Goodman firmly believed it to be important to hire players of all color, saying, "We need the white keys and the black keys to play together to make good harmony." Goodman was the first white band leader to hire a black player to play in his band, Teddy Wilson, a black pianist. At this time, integration was still not a common thing, especially in music. Goodman disregarded this as he added to his smaller ensembles, in 1939 adding a black vibraphonist, Lionel Hampton, and guitarist Charlie Christian to his ensemble, making the Benny Goodman Quintet. Goodman did not travel to play in the South, however, where he could have gotten arrested for violating the Jim Crow laws. At the time, Jim Crow laws made integration illegal, especially in entertainment. This musical integration was important at the time, happening nearly 10 years prior to Jackie Robinson's integration into the Major League Baseball. Goodman won numerous awards over his time as a clarinetist. After his big band broke up, he was inducted into Downbeat's Jazz Hall of Fame in 1952. Goodman continued playing and touring up until 1986, when he died from a heart attack at age 77. Later that year, he was awarded with the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award and received honorary doctorate degrees from numerous universities. The many achievements and successes he enjoyed over the years earned him the immortal title as King of Swing.